Welcome back to the live sessions number 18. So today it will be an open session. So feel free, guys, if you have any questions related to Coohom to ask directly to the chat in the Google Meet. Okay. So first of all, there's a question from users. He would like to create like this kind of design, so I would like to recreate this design for him, so you guys also know how to create that kind of styles. Okay, so first I'm going to create like a room over here, maybe around like 3 meters time, no, I think 3 meters too much, 2.5 meter time 4 meters, this one. Okay, so based on this one, so what we need to do first was this section first. So we need to create like cabinets over here, so like a wall cabinets, and then there's a storage area, 2 storage area down here, and also a part here with a hole. So first we're going to advanced tools. We're going to usually you can use closets also. Okay, once you're done, you can set up anything. So it will be very like a lot of way to create these kind of styles. So first, space unit, you can check over here, open cabinet or something. So first, we're going to put like open bottom unit first. So single, like this one. Okay. Then here we can set up the height. For example, I want to change the height to 500, right? And then we can also set up the toe kick height, for example, 0. If you doesn't want to have any toe kick in the downside, and then you can also delete the bottom part. Here, let me try to check select part. Select this one, and then we can set up. Oh, I think it's not delete, just you can use something like hide or something. And then let me change to select cabinets again. Here we're going to change the depth, for example, to be 400, and then the width will be 500. I think it's fine. Okay, so this is the first area, and then we need to create like this also, which is we need to copy this one, and then you can set up the width, for example, into 1000, and then you can use P on your keyboard, click, and then click P on your keyboard and array to this area. Sorry. Okay. Next, a wall unit. Now we need to set up like, let me check first. Is it 500? This is 500. And then this one is also 500, 6,000. Oh, sorry, this one need to be 1.2. And you just click P, click, and then click P, array this area, this one, and then we're going to open cabinets for a wall unit. Select over here, and you can set up the same setup like 600, for example, and then you can click P like this one, and then set up the height, for example, will be 1 meter. No, 2 meter, for example. How much? Wait, 1.8. Yeah. And then another one, you can set up like, let me check, multi-row. Here's or multi-row over here, and then change width will be 1.2, and then set up the interval number to 2, and then click the cabinets, and then click P, array to the same area over here, like this one. Okay, and then also if we need to double check everything already have the same size. Oh, it's 400, so you need to click again to 400, and then this also 400. Okay, and then the other part, you can also create another one over here, so on the top, and then on also open area over here also. So it looks like this is like a glass kind of things, right? So I think this part, so this part we can use custom models later, but we need to create this part first. Okay, so back to the design, and then I think the height is too much. It's 1.6, fine. And then click another one, copy and paste, and then just click the cabinet, use P on your keyboard, array on over here. And then since you know the height of the wall will be 2.8, right? So this height is like, this height is 500. This is, so it's already 2.1. So you can create like the height will be 700. Like this one. Okay. So the next thing will be we using a part like doors or something. You can use like a flat one. So let me choose like the most simple doors. For example, like this one. So I just put it here, and then I can use the styles and then delete the handle if it doesn't need one, right? And then here you can also change the door materials over here. You can go public. So we need to check is like a light green colors. So just search for green. So for example, these colors, or maybe like more soft colors. I think this color is fine, right? And then if you're okay with the doors, you can use it. But if you want to change everything, for example, like open left and others, you can check using Control O or Command O on your Mac. Just copy and paste over here. And then here you can change the direction to left, for example, like this one, right? And then click another one, copy over here, right? And then if you just need a panel doesn't open, you can also like creating something like panels. And then I think you can use also doors. So just copy, doors, flat, same kind of things here, like this one. Style, delete the doors, Control M, material brush, the same materials over here. And then you can also copy to the whole cabinet. This one. And then here on the doors, you can click on the doors. Use panel design. You're going to open a panel design, so you need to double check with this. This is on the right side. With this, the green triangle will be on the downside, because you can see on the 3D side over here. So what you need to do, like if you use like DEC something, you can change. For example, this one is circle. Like this, for example, just click complete, and you already have a hole over there. Okay, same material, copy over here also. Okay, so this is the basic things. So you can go and then go to custom models now. And then in the custom models, you can also using the default wireframe and material, which is easier for you to use. This one. And then you can create another sections over here, for example, from here to here. Can use push pull something because the height we already know is 700, right? And then same materials. Make sure you use the same material over here. And then here, you can check there's a frame and then there's a gap, also another gap over there. So there's also a hole there. So first you need to do was, it will depends on you. So let me undo first. So let me try to have the same volume. So for example, just taking this 18, and then I'm going to use push pull 700, right? And then you can create another volume over here to these sections 18, and then use push pull to 700, the same. And then on the top, you can also create another one. So here, use rectangle. 18 also. So you can use push pull to the edge. This one. Okay. And then you want to create a hole over here. So you can use like circle or something. It will depends on you. For example, like circle, circle. And here you can use the push pull, but you need to push there. So 18. And then you can delete the surface over there, right? And then here you can make a gap. So for example, you create a gap here to 50. Sorry, these sections to this section 50. And then you can use offset also. Let me check if there's an offset here. Should be an offset. Wait, offset. Oh, here we go. Offset. So this section. You can create another one. It's much more easier. For example, like this one. Do we need to delete the line first? It's fine. Let me try. So if you want to change the material now, you can copy and then use this material, right? And use the same material over everywhere. I think there's a bug. Let me try. Why it's not safe? Wait, I think there's a internet problem with my internet. So wait a moment, guys. I need to recreate one more time. So these sections. example, like this one. Then copy the materials. Sorry, there's a problem with my internet, so there's a bit laggy now for me to design. And then you can go here, and then you can go to 2D views. On the left, views, right views, views, yeah. Here, video game. Create another one, circle over here, for example. Using push pull. And delete that part, right? Like this one, for example. And then you can use like, where is it? Offsets. For example, like this one, early. And in this area, you can change the material over here to glass. And then just choose a clear glass over here. So it's already changed to clear glass. And then it's done. You can click finish. And you have the pops up. Okay. So we continue to the same part here. So we need to create like this whole like pillars and the stairs and everything, these kind of things. Let me try if it really can use in Coohom. So we go to another custom models. And then we go to wireframes here. You can set up a new circle over here, for example, like this one, circle, push pull to 80. And then you can use torus. Actually, we need to know exactly the size first. So let me try to create a very perfect circle first. So for example, this will be the radius will be 70, right? And then use push pull 1800 torus. Create torus over here, and then you can change everything. Radius you can change to 70, and then the pipe radius, for example, 10. And then you can set up exactly the center. This one, like, pull down like this one. And then the next thing, you can use a linear array for this sections. For example, number of linear will be 100. Sorry, array. And this surface Z will be 50. example, like this one. And then you can shift everything here and then change the material and make it a groups. So it's much easier. So for example, you're using like fabrics. This is just an example. This one. Okay. So I don't know exactly what the material is it for that kind of cap rooms. Okay. So next thing you can use use panels and everything. You can use push pull much more easier. So here, for example, you want to make stairs. For example, the width is 18,400. Here. Right. And then let me check another one. Oh, you can. Yep. So basically, it will be look like this one. Change the material, for example, wood. I'm sorry, I forget to group. So basically, if you already groups, it's much easier for you to paste the materials. Yeah. So like this one, and then another one, another sections. This and another sections over here. I don't know what is it. Let me try. So I think that the logic will be the same. So you need to create like the size of a circle. For example, radius is 100, for example. Push pull to down eating. And then delete the bottom part. This one. Oops. Make another rectangle. And use line. one. And then you go to circle, you can use spheres. Actually, I've never used this one before, but let me try. Slice spheres. T. 180. T. Right. And then radius 130 because the same radius with the hole. First, you need to change the material first because I think it looks like glass. So we need to change into clear glass. Clear glass. Copy here. And then you can set up the locations. This one. And it's done. So basically, this is the how to do. Sorry. How to do. So I'm using a spear. Over here. So next thing, a question from the community. Like, is it possible to import SketchUp models in Coohom? Yes. So if you want to import your SketchUp models, you go to Workspace, go to Models, and then here we have models, and then here you can upload models, and then just drag and drop your file, SketchUp files here. Okay. Can you repeat the custom model? Cannot see what you present. Cannot see what I'm presenting. Really? Okay, so next we open another session. So let me clear everything first. So today I think we're going to create something like very wait. These situations first. So let me screenshot this part. So basically, if I open here custom model, so I'm using spheres. So if you guys wondering like how I create these kind of things, I'm using spheres here. You can use spheres over here and then drags and then slice for sure, and use 180 degrees over here and change the radius with the same radius with the hole, and then just relocate to the same spots. Okay. So let me try to render. So I'm using, I'm going to use a window first. And then we go to renders. I haven't changed any colors from the background and everything, but in this case, we just want to see the result. So we're using this ratio, and then you can go to real-time rendering first to make sure everything fine. Like this thing. Everything, so you need to double check on the 2Ds, the lightings and everything. You need to check if you feel like this one is too dark, too much, like for example 300. Wait, is it a clear glass already? Let me check. Oh, I haven't changed the clear glass on the other side. So we need to check it again. Advanced tools, custom models. New materials, glass, clear glass. Go here, finish. And then go to renders. Open the real-time renders that we already opened. So now we are checking with the real-time render result. Let's see why it's not moving, what is not showing. We can retry. Okay, like this one is already have a glass over here, and then if you see here in details, there's a spears, exactly the same one that the user want. So yeah, we can go close it, and then change the POV to much more wider. Like for example, like this one, 4K render. And we just need to wait. Any other questions? Okay, meanwhile we wait for the render, so I'm going to clear the design. So let me just open a new design here. Just go to home, create a new project, like create a blank project. Or maybe we can today focusing on the architects while we're waiting for the renders to be done. Just wait for the render first. Yeah, so it will be looks like this. So if you want to change the material or something, you can change it. Okay, let me download and share to the users. Okay, so there's another question from users. So let me download the photo first. So user asking me this. So she asked like, "Hi, I just started Coohom recently. Can I create such as cabinets? Like such as cabinet with the middle part is open and curved, possible in Google Meet." Okay, so first of all, we need to go to advanced tools, but I'm not sure about the curve cabinet, but let me try. I don't think we can use like a curve. Let me search. Yeah, but it will be like different kind of curve. But let me check. change the parameter first. Yeah, I'm going to check it first. Radius arc 100. Oh yeah, it can. So if we see on your design, here's the doors over here. So okay, let me try to recreate one. I'm going to delete it first. We're going to use this part. So go to material components. Sorry, so to the kitchen and bath. So if we see here, first of all, we need to create like a wall cabinet, right? So wall cabinet, you need to just directly using like wall cabinet here, or you can use wall cabinet, for example, like this one. So for example, like this one. And then if you doesn't need that kind of handle or something, because if I see on your design is very minimalist design. So on the doors, double click on the doors, styles, just delete the handles, doors, styles, just delete the handles like this one. So you can see. And then the next part will be make sure if I see on your design there are a toe kick molding. So what we need to do was go to parameters, toe kicks, toe bottoms, and let me check. If it doesn't need, we can cover it with toe kick molding later. Okay. So the next thing will be the curve things. I need to check for it first. Okay. Curve. We have it, but it's quite different style. Let me check. Yeah, it's quite different. Mm, mm, or maybe we can use bottom base cabinet first. Change everything parameters the same. For example, 550 and the width 600. The height without handles. Six, seven, seven. And then curve. E align to this area. 677. And then the depth like this part. So I'm going to check it first. And then we need to create countertop. Countertop. Here, you can use like without backsplash materials. For example, what color? Like black. That's for example 20, 30. Generate. And then, but the problem is now I don't know exactly like. Wait a second. Okay, moldings. This one. And then the design on the top also using wall cabinets. So with doors. Change the size. Height will be, for example, 913. 550, 600. Style, delete the styles. So if you want to change everything like the parameters, for example, the cabinets here, for example, to 800, you can also change it. It's also 800. This one. Okay. So the next thing for the back panel, like over here, I suggest to use the material custom models. So we can go back to custom models. push pull like 20. Use something like this one. And change the material over here with wood with the same style. Let me try to find this one, copy one, another one, this one. Finish. Sorry about this one, custom models. G, we can edit, customize more. And then materials. So you can go to the material styles here, body materials. If we see here like gray color, you can start with the doors also. Door style, door materials, personal, these colors, and then just click, 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 click. Click, click, click. This one. And if you see the gap here, you need to use material brush from custom models. Wireframe. And then just the decorations now. So add some decorations over here, something. Let me try. So finish. And then add like models. Decorations, kitchens. Where's decorations now? Home decors. Like maybe table decors. Yeah. So I think this is the way for now, as I know, to create this kind of situations of the curve area in the end sections. So let me try to renders. We go to real-time renders. Okay, so you need to change the lighting. For example, the lighting over here and add section lighting. For example, you can use 2D and then use a rectangle lighting here and then make the same size of the lighting on top here. Use 3D. So if you see here, the 3D is over here, you make it push downward. push a little bit down here, change the colors. And then you can change the brightness over here, like 400s. This way it be like white color over here. So you guys can see the difference. Still loading. Calvin, may I know any way to do base cabinet with sliding doors instead of swing doors? Yeah. Then we click this one first done. After that, I'm going to show you that one. It's supposed to be able. I need to double check first, okay? Hold on a second. Generate. Okay, so base cabinet, but with sliding doors. Kitchen cabinets, base cabinet with doors. So I think you can use like this one first, right? And then the doors, you can delete the doors. And then here, use, oh, there are no sliding doors. Let me check. So in this case, you can mix between the closet one, and then you can create like some open cabinet maybe, like for base unit, like this one. Because in base unit, right, you can use the sliding doors. For example, I'm choosing this one, and then here you can change the interval, such as for example 2, and then change the size, for example 1 meters, and then here you can use sliding doors. Click this one, and extend, and then choose the sliding doors style. For example, the simplest you can find, and then click any kind, bottom rail, and then top rail, and then generate. So it will generate for you. So in this case, once you already have the sliding doors, what you need to do is change the gap. So for example, side panel setting, you need to check the offset positions first. Wait a second. I forgot. Oh, not this one. Oh, you need to double check on this in this part first. Wait. So select part, click this one. I need to make sure first, okay? Later I will try to find out, but wait, is this another way? Maybe like base open button unit, multi-row. change to 2 interval 1 meters. Cabinet down will be, for example, 600 because it will be an base cabinet, right? So here, this one can. So let me try. Click sliding doors here and generate to these sections. Generate. Once you're done, you can click the cabinets. Panel toe kick. Yeah, you can change the toe kick, for example, to 20, and then these sections. Oh, okay. Go to parameters here. So let me hide first the sliding doors. Go to here, interval 1, right? And then you can use parts, panels, like vertical plate, like common vertical plates, like this one. Put it in the middle. And then here you can adjust everything, like the depth, something like, for example, 2050, 250. And then here show hidden, like this one. Yeah. So this is the case. But for kitchen and bed, there are no options to create it. Okay. Let's see the renders we made before. Yeah. So another question is, this is another way to create it, but you can adjust like the doors. There's still a little bit gap here, so you need to adjust the size here. But it will be like this one, right? Okay. So is there any other questions? Okay, so wait, there's not are you in the any user called Jasmine from Singapore are in the live? No. So she is asking why there are no lightings in the advanced tools. Okay, I will contact her later. So you guys, I think that's all for today live session. So anytime we're going to do it weekly. So oh, there's another question beside cabinet. Can I ask about? Yeah, for sure. Anything about Coohom. Feel free. What's the questions? I will open a new project, so it's much easier to see. So we're going to close this one. Beside cabinet, how can I create two different flooring texture in one area? Oh, okay. So first you need to go to floor editor here. Okay. Once you already go to the floor editor, you can use rectangle over here. For example, you want to separate this area. For example, like this one. So you have two area, and then you can use another slab. And then if you want to make a levitations or increase in extraction, so you can go extra, for example, like 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters here. So if you go to 3D, right, you can see there's a gap, right? So another question is how to fill up the same material with the elevations, right? So you go to click the line, edit elevations, because I just favorite it, just drag and drop, and you have it. And then once everything is done, you can click the line, duplicate, and copy to all section. So if you see all the sections already duplicated, even if you want to add like lightings, you can also add intended lamp belt over here. Change the lighting, for example, lightings, this one. So you have a lighting here. So I think it's not really showing over here, but let me close. Go to 3D. It's still loading. Yeah, like this one. Is it the questions? Example two different type of turfing with 40 millimeter raise and adds with small ram. Yeah, if you wanna, if for example, so let me go again. So for example, you doesn't need the intended lamp belt, right? So and then the extraction will be how many? 40 millimeter raise. Like wait, just example like 100, I think is fine. And then you just click done. You have this, sorry, still loading, like this situation, right? So if you want to have RAM, so you can use, for my personal opinion, so you use custom modelings or maybe material components. So I'm going to show you both the way. So you can go to custom modeling, because if you want to make a RAM in the floor editor, you cannot. So go here with wireframe, for example, make a rectangle. Sorry, I think it's actually. Example, the size will be like this one. And then you need to create like an axis. This one, the width will be 100. So there are many options actually. Let me try first. Rectangle, make like this one. Push pull 100, right? Make a lines here. Make another push pull. And then once you're done, just click, make the groups, and then you can move it. Sorry. This cannot be moved. Wait, why is not moving? So let me try on material component first. Please, I don't know, it's internet connections or something, because it looks like I cannot click anything here. No, it's gone. Material components. You create. And then later, once you're done, you can use the, so let me check, small RAM like this one, change the material. There's a lot of option for you actually, but for the base logics, so if you want to make a separate heat like extract, you need to use floor editor. But if you want to make like additional RAM or something, you can use custom model of more material components. Anything other than that? So a bit inside, if you guys really want to create renders, right? So for example, let me open some renders. So make sure you use like real-time lighting first. So you can set up anything like the reflections, everything. It's much more easier. So let me show a little bit. For example, you have this room, right? And then just add a very basic furniture, okay? For example, like bedroom, and then beds. For example, like we can use this one. And then wall editor, no, constructions, window, window, all types, like this one, floor to ceilings, 2D. Zero. Wall editors. Wall panels. So I'm going to use like very basic things because the real things that I really want to show is how really using the real-time materials. So for example, see this one. And then the floor also, floor editors. For example, like maybe green. Okay, so 2D extract 2 meters. This one extract to 4 meters. For example, like this one. And then for the ceilings, you can add anything. Ceilings, like for example, lightings. Simple like this one. Scale, let's just change the scale size. Okay, for example, like this one, you can rotate a little bit. Yeah. Now we go into renders. Make sure you go to real-time rendering and confirm. Right. Okay, so this is the real deal. Camera clipping. So there are a lot of ways actually to create a very like different style of lighting, right? For example, in these positions, okay, So let me try user interview, save this angle first. And then here, you can click environment first. So we have a lot of options. Like if you want to change the outdoor brightness, you can change the outdoor brightness directly. So the effect of the glass will be changed also. So if you want to make a very black one, like this kind of effect, so you can also do that. But the problem is, if you want to have a shadow like these sunlight things, you need to change the sun brightness here. Right. So it is much more like very natural kind of situations. So for example, let me increase again. Then here you can change the tone. For example, these colors, like interior colors, they will be like more exterior colors, and then these more like very dark colors. And then here you can also change. Let me change the outdoor brightness a little bit. And then here you can change the colors of lighting. So if you see here, the color will be much more warm. So these are more like natural colors, like white, more white. But here is much more blue. Okay. And then the shadow. So if you increase the brightness of the sunlight, this is because this is the sunshine parameters, like this one. You see the lines, right? So if you want to change it more like soft lining, so you need to make it soft. You see the difference? If I make it more soft, there are looks like no like very natural kind of situation sunlight here. So if you want to make it very sharp, you just click it down. It will be much more sharp. Okay. And then the next thing you need to do, understand, is going to 2D, which is this is the position of the sunlight. Actually, you can change the angle over here and also the positions over here. But I prefer going to 2D because it's much more easier to see. So if we change the sun over here, the lighting will be going much more wider, right? Because it's come from direct area from the window. So this is just a logic. Right? For example, like this one. So sorry, this one. And then the next things you can do was changing the angle. So if you change the angle much more down, the shadow will be going up. Sorry, the sunlight will be going up. For example, like this one. I make it more down, like 10 degree over here. So you can see the difference. If I make very high, so there's a problem. The lighting will be cut up from this part of the wall. So it will be going down directly. So this is the things that you need to understand much more before using renders in Coohom, because a lot of users are trying to use Coohom, but the render result is not very expect to their expectations, right? So this is the way. Okay. And then there's also another effect such as like LUT filter or something, indoor brightness. You can change everything here. Okay. So the next questions, how to change the lighting directly from the materials. For example, like this one. Here you can click the bulb, right? And then you can change the luminous energy. For example, you want to make maximum, so the luminous energy will be much more like maximum over here. And also, if you want to change the color of the lighting, for example, you want to make it like more brown color, so you can also do that, which is actually this showing, right, the difference. But usually you will be using white color, so it will more naturals. And then also this lighting, for example, like this one. If you want to change the feeling to luminous materials, you can also change using here materials. Go to luminous material here, and make sure you select the right luminous material for the materials. And then here you can change the luminous energy. And then if you click, sorry, if I go much more closer, let me set up the camera clipping and the field of view. You will see the difference, right? And also the light, this is the glass. So glass need to be make sure also like the reflections, the refractive index, you need to change. if you really want to show a very natural render result. For example, like this one, so it's marble glass. So if you make it very low, it's marble transparency. So it will depends on your liking for renders. Okay. So now we are going to jump to the renders. So go back. We set the angles. Make sure you already click the real-time renders that you already save. Change this area, use clipping, like this one, for example. Clipping like this one. And then click the resolutions, generate. So you will see the difference. So if I don't change anything, for example, I'm using fast and ultra fast directly, I also gonna create one. So you see the difference. So the below part we're using real time. This part we're using like template lightings. You're waiting. I'm using 4K, so it takes a much more longer a little bit. So yeah, this already done. So if you see here, the real-time renders I made, I changed the luminous energy material here. So the bulbs, the glass also changed, so it more luminous also here. The lightings and everything. And make sure you're using 4K, so it's more. And I changed the glass reflections and everything, so you can exactly follow your needs. All right. Let's see the normal one. This is the normal one. I'm going to show. Wait, let me open Canva. I want to show you guys exactly what the difference. Let me download. And I'm going to upload it to Canva. Elements, photo, no, streams, basic frames. Wait a second. Okay. You can see the difference. First, main difference because we changed the luminous energy over here, right? So the next thing also over here, the luminous materials for the like the hanging lighting over here. And then the next part is the lightings, the shadow. If you see the shadow lines, this is very sharp. So this is more softer that we are trying to make more natural colors, right? And then the glass. Basically, glass needs some reflections for sure. So it really depends also. Uh, so basically, that's the main thing that you need to understand about it. It's more natural. So what I'm trying to say, basically, before you renders in Coohom, try to use the real-time material because sometimes the template is much more like giving a very animation kind of a renders looks like. So I prefer for you guys to understand real-time renders. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all for today live sessions. Um, so thank you for joining the live sessions. I will end the recording now.